What's up, everybody? So I wanted to go over the trades that we took this morning on the live. This one here we took live in the Discord, and this one here as well. We close to the end of the session, we took that, and we were trading it all the way up. This trade here I will go over as well. It was a trade that I took just before. You can see 1:30, and we were just live at 2:30 New York time. So I just wanted to say how I got into that, and then I wanted to explain the rest. I'm in this trade right here, right now, uh, and it looks like it's still playing out, just about entry. So um, the first trade I took was just here, was in this 15-minute candle here. And what I saw was that we were playing the external range liquidity, external range right here, to internal. So the IRL on the 15-minute was being respected. So price went down. We took out that external range liquidity, created a higher high up here, which then became our next target external range liquidity, coming from a internal range, which was our 15-minute fair value gap right there. Came down into it, took out some liquidity, and moved up. This year I was not a part of, it was Ace's session, but what we saw was that after price had taken the external range liquidity, it left the high right here, being the new external range liquidity. So you can see already, you can see this pattern of rinse and repeat. Yeah. What it then did was that it created that one fair value gap, which is our internal range liquidity. Internal, oh, IRL plus 15 plus for it being a bullish 15-minute fair value gap. And so I wanted to long this going for the external range up here, the high. You know, my strategy is all about just getting those base hits. So that was a 1-pointer, or 10 points that I was looking for. The entry was in this candle right there. And another thing that we saw was that we had the 12 o'clock open, the New York time. You can see -4. You can see it down here. That we failed to close below. So this was another confluence that we that we were actually going higher because we didn't close below. And so I got involved here, and you saw the entry right there, and took it up to 10 points, 27 to 37, just a little bit lower because of slippage. That's how it is sometimes. And you see, we actually take that external range liquidity, and what we could look for at that point was a higher time frame internal range liquidity. Price then went up and tapped our daily candle open, the 18 o'clock for indexes. And you see that that is where the candle opened, meaning that price is now, what we see is that we had our low of the day being put in, the bottom wick of that daily candle. We can put it on here. You see that this candle out here is the daily candle. And you see that the open here, putting in that bottom wick. So if we flip that, I was trying to aim for higher. What could we aim for? We could aim for this high out here. This high out here was our previous day high. All of this will get, we'll talk about this in just a bit. So this was already our drawn liquidity. And I was trying to see if we can trade internal, external, all the way up into it. Now what we wanted to see is that we wanted to see an entry function around this area here so that we could actually get involved. And you know, I like to call what I call 3D is trying to get the volume involved as well. And so what we could do was that we did all of this on the live. We drew out the point of control, or the fixed range volume profile, from the low to the high here, and we were looking to see if we can find an entry around the point of control area. So price kind of moved up flipped that daily candle. Now you see out here, you see that it's a bullish candle all of a sudden. Let's just see where we got involved. So at 4, we had the other entry at 4, and we were kind of waiting for a higher time frame fair value gap that we could trade off of. And right now we only had that one right here, and price came down. I wasn't meaning to do that. All right. So this is the area that we were trying to look for. We were really close to this internal range liquidity that we already had been trading once. And so what we were looking for in regards of how far, how deep we could go, is that this here was starting to look like a market maker sell model. Let's just remove that so we can see it a bit clearer. We had tapped our value area high of this whole price range. This whole price range. We tapped the value area high. And so let me just show you here. We were looking for a retracement that we could get involved in. And if you pull the standard deviations from the extreme high to the low, we see that our 2.5, 2 to 2.5 is actually hitting within that point of interest that we were looking for, the 15-minute fair value gap. The thing is that on the way up, price didn't create any fair value gaps that we could trade from. So we would try and see if we can count on this. Had price closed below these lows here, then we would actually start to be bearish, because then we would mean we'd also closed below the 12 o'clock open. So price taps into our point of interest, and on TopstepX we saw a volume spike at the low, and we saw a volume spike here at the low, and we were trying to catch the long from that. And as you saw in the picture before, it played out quite well. Now next, what I tried to see is that we wanted to aim for something, yeah, and we had our previous day high that we could aim for, but at the same time we also had this 2.5 of the low. Here we pull from this low to that high, the last price leg before the up move. And so that was kind of the draw. At least we would go all the way up to that. Let's just put on the fixed range volume profile. We see that we also flipped or respected the value area low. So that is our 3D pattern. We had a massive spike here at the low as well. And so we were trading that. Now what happened was that we never really got all the way up. I got my 10 points out of it, by the way. As you saw in the first picture here, from there to there. No, sorry, from here to here. And now we will get into this trade right there. How do I get into that? Well, we came back down and we respected both the fair value gap again and the value area low. But on the way out, we created this balanced price range. Balanced price range being two overlapping fair value gaps, one bearish and one bullish, so that I was looking for that to hold. If that were to hold, it would mean that the daily candle you see out here, would then be still flipping bullish, and the drawn liquidity up here would be the daily would previous day high would be valid to aim for. And that was basically what I tried to do. So when we got into that balanced price range, here we go. I took the long out of it. And it was basically in about this area here. You can see it right there. So this is the 1 minute chart there. So it's basically here. And what I did was that we were in about this here. I had a 10-point stop. At this point, I was really confident in the drawn liquidity all the way up here in 4 extension was actually gonna hold. So I was trying to maximize my profits. The way that I did that was that as soon as we got over the 10 points, I started trailing my stop loss. And the way that I trail my stop loss is that I trail it below a up close candle, the bottom of an up close candle. But I need to trail it below a up close candle that has 10 points or more. So what we see right here is that I then trail it to that low here and then to that low there. And I just kept on trailing it. Every time there came a bearish candle, I would wait with the trail. And so I kept on doing that all the way up pretty high actually. And we started to get a small range up here. You can see where we got out right there. So that means that I've trailed it here. Trailed it somewhere around there and I got my 30 points from that. So that was a banging trade. I didn't quite get it all the way up to the draw, even though it hit, but I got another like 30 points out of it. Okay, so we're actually getting stopped out, and I didn't get so you see here, we actually hit the 10 points, and because I was making this video, I didn't take the profits, but we would have made the 10 points. Let's see if we are gonna get stopped out on this or not. So that's the next trade. Um, how did I get into this trade? The trade was out here. It's really easy, and I was quite okay, there we go. We've been tapped out at entry. I was quite confident in this trade, and you can see why. Is that once we got into this low here, we had this massive volume spike, showing that there was a lot of involvement, people taking profits or people entering into the trade. And the reason I think that that we got that retracement was because of the market maker sell model that formed. We had our bullish price leg and our bearish price leg. After a smart money reversal up here, we could pull the standard deviations. And what aligned was this right here. This was the 2 to 2.5 deviations. And on top of that, we had a 5-minute fair value gap. And simply because of that and the massive volume spike and the really sharp turn that we got in, if you look here on the 15-second chart, you can really see that sharp turn. It just pushes down into it and then just push straight up. Because of that, I got involved and I wanted to take that trade. My bad for not taking my profit at 10 points, which I had to. It's my strategy, so I should have held it, but I was making this video. It was a really cool trade as well. I was really confident in it. The same time when we came down, we had this value area low. So all of a sudden we have overlapping confluence. We have about 2 to 2.5 deviations. We have a 5-minute fair value gap and also the value area low. Overlapping confluence is a lot of reason to take this trade. If we look on futures, we haven't taken previous day high as we have right here. So that was also what I wanted to look for. and it's just my bad for not really taking the profits. All right, and so to close out the day, you can see right here, close out the video, you can see my the different trades that we just talked about and how they played out. So this was a quick video. I hope that it helped. If not, please just come to the Discord and ask a lot of questions, or ask all the questions that you have. I will try and answer all of them. Yeah, I think that's it. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys around.